Hi, everyone. Welcome back to Talking on Tour, the podcast where we go behind the scenes with the incredible people bringing Broadway all across the country. I'm super excited because today we are joined by Kiara Lee, who is currently starring in Heather's Off-Broadway in New York, but she has a lot of experience to share with us from Back to the Future, where she was previously traveling all across the country as Jennifer Parker. So we're very lucky to have her here. Hi, Kiara.
Hi,
How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm fabulous. I'm so excited to be
Good.
talking with you today. Thank you for being here and sharing your wise wisdom with us because you've done a lot and you are really, really young like me. So it's so impressive to think about that you have been in a national tour and now you're making your off-Broadway debut. So I'm super excited to talk with you. And if you're ready to jump in, I am.
Let's go.
Let's go. Let's do it. Okay, so for anyone who may not know you yet, if they're living under a rock, could you just introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about your journey into musical theater where you are today?
Yeah, okay. So I'm Kiara. I actually started in dance. I grew up with competition dance, like doing that all the time. But then the summer before my freshman year of high school, I did like a summer intensive where it was just dancing, like fully like 9 to 5 pre-professional.
Yeah.
And I just realized that like I wanted to do more. I didn't know what I wanted to do, but I was like, I want to do more than dancing. And then obviously my friends had told me about musical theater. So I
Mhm.
started musical school and I just fell in love with it and went to college for it. I went to Carnegie Mellon. I graduated not last year, 2024. I can't believe it's now 2026.
Wow.
Like it's
I know
almost
it's
going to be
crazy.
2 years,
Yeah.
but it's crazy to think. But yeah, so that's kind of how I got into musical theater.
Wow. Do you remember your first production that you were a part of in high school?
I do. I was in Crazy for You,
Mhm.
and it was so much fun. I love tap, so it was incredible.
And now look at you making your off-Broadway debut. Tell us what is your role in Heather's off-Broadway?
So I play young Republicanette. All of like the ensemble, there's six of us, and we all kind of have like a character archetype.
Okay.
So mine is just like imagining like student council, like very preppy, very like smart girl, a
Mhm.
part of like every club
Nice.
ever. That's
Okay.
kind of the role I play. And then I also understudy Heather Duke, Heather Chandler, and Veronica.
And you've gone on for Heather Duke, right?
Hmm.
Have you gone on for Chandler or Veronica or not yet?
I haven't. I had like my put in, which if people don't know is like literally like you're doing the full show, full costume, full lights, full like band around
Mhm.
you. And it's just like a way to like get a full run through before your actual debut. So I had that for Veronica. And then obviously I've been doing understudy rehearsals for Chandler, but so far only Duke, but I really like I want to do Veronica very, very soon since I've had my put
Yeah.
in. So hopefully, fingers crossed, I can do it.
That's so exciting. I've seen Heather's now twice, and both times I saw you in your ensemble track. So I haven't gotten to see you as Duke, but you did go a little. I saw a lot of clips everywhere of your
Yeah.
of your performance as Duke. It's hard to avoid those slime tutorials and videos
Live
that
tutorials,
people
yeah.
put out there. Yeah, we don't. I don't like them, but you can't not watch if you know what I mean.
There's
So.
so many, yeah.
There's so many. And to throw it back to how long were you in the national tour of Back to the Future? Because that was your national tour debut, right? That
Hmm.
was okay. So how long were you a part of that contract before switching over to New York Off-Broadway?
I think it was like 11 and a half months. I left like 2 or 3 weeks before like my contract ended for like
Mhm.
1 year. So basically a year, like just shy of a year.
Okay. And your role in that show, Jennifer Parker, but then you were in like every number, right? Like as far as like dancing goes, you were in everything. Am I
Yeah,
right? Yeah.
it was pretty wild. I had no idea. I mean, it was so exciting and it's so rare that you get to have a role like that where you get to like have a great role, have your own song, and then also just like
Right.
dance it down in the ensemble. It was like the perfect role.
I saw Back to the Future 5 times when it was in New York and then twice on tour, but I didn't get to catch you in the tour. I
Oh
saw it in
yeah.
Boston a few months ago. But is it weird being in Heather's with Marty McFly? I know you guys never crossed paths. Do people ask you that? Is that a question you get?
People do ask me that, and there's also anytime I'm on for Duke, there's like a scene that like Duke and Jake have. Like it's like a well, you know the scene. It's like a
Yes.
short little scene where I'm
Yes.
like reading a book and whatever, and everyone's like, "Oh my gosh, Back to the Future multiverse." But also, I was friends with Casey before I had even started the Back to the Future tour,
Mhm.
and he actually visited me on tour, legitimately like 2 days before we started rehearsals for
Oh, wow.
Heather's. And I was like, yeah, like I'm about to pack up and leave. Like I'm about to do a show called Heather's. And he was like, me too. And I was like, what? And
That's
then we
crazy.
realized that we were in the show together and it's great. So
Wow.
yeah, it's awesome. But it is kind of crazy to think
Yeah.
that. Like it's such a small world, but
Such a small world, but it's also theater is such a big world. Like it's so small, but it also
Mhm.
like is everywhere. So that's so cool that you guys are doing this
Yeah.
now and have that relationship from like being able to bond over Back to the Future to now. That one scene is so good. No spoilers, but that one scene is very, I can see how that would be
Yeah.
very fun to do with each other on stage
Mhm.
because you don't, Duke and JD don't really interact, do they?
Yeah,
Besides,
there's some characters. I mean, this isn't like every musical ever, but it's like
yeah.
hilarious to think like some of the characters I'm like, I don't say anything to you once. Like literally
Yeah.
like it's wild,
That's
but
crazy. Okay, so let's take it back to your days on tour, Back to the Future. What was a typical day on tour like for you as far as routine? Like, are you getting up early, getting to the theater early? Are you a last minute type of girl? What was your like day in the life on tour, kind of like a brief tour day, if you could give that to me?
well, it kind of varied just because, like being in a different city every 2 weeks or so, like I
Yeah.
was always doing something different. So it was always great to shake up my routine because I feel like
Okay.
now in New York, like I do the same thing every single day, but it was like cool to wake up somewhere different, go to like a different coffee shop. I definitely was not an early riser,
Okay.
and I'm still not.
Me
Like
neither.
I wake up maybe like around like 11 or 12.
Oh wow.
And
Okay.
then I'll like go to like I would go to a different coffee shop every day or like a different lunch spot, which was so
Yeah.
great. And then maybe I'd hit a Pilates class sometimes. Some of the girls
Nice.
would convince me. I would do like a full like body warm up, still like get that dance in there. Maybe take a dance class in a different city,
Oh,
which
cool.
is great and fun. And then I definitely was the last person to arrive at the theater. Like I am notorious for this, and every show I'm in, I own it because I'm always ready by places. But
Yeah.
I roll up to the theater at half hour and everyone is like
Wow.
people who don't do theater also like that's the thing that they don't realize is like literally we do our hair, we do our makeup, we do our costumes, we vocally warm up, we physically warm up everything within a matter of 30 minutes. And like everyone's always freaked out. They're like, don't you have to go? Like your show's at 7. And I'm like, yeah, it's only like 6:20. Like I'll be there, it's fine. But yeah,
Yeah.
I definitely was the last roll up at the theater and the last to get ready. But when it came to places, like I was there. I was
You're
always there
there.
on time.
And
So
it's to this day, you're the
I'm
same
there.
way. Like in Heather's now, that's also kind of your routine.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm worse. I mean, I get there
Really.
at half hour, but I would say I probably start like getting ready probably like 10 minutes before the show. It's actually pretty wild.
And
And
that
everyone's
doesn't
like,
pique
there's
your
no way you can.
anxiety. That doesn't, you don't have,
Mm,
wow,
yeah,
you're a
I
pro.
just
You're
like,
a pro.
I guess I can't like not do my makeup. Like even when I'll just do my makeup like every day, I
Yeah.
do it within a matter of like 3 or 4 minutes. Like I'm just like
Wow.
I cannot like I just do it very fast. So
Very impressive. And you, but you get there and
thank you.
that's what matters. You're ready to go
Exactly. I'm
by the
always
time.
there. I'm always there.
But also, like, no shade, but I feel like shows never start on time. I feel like it's
Well, yeah, you have places, but the true places is like more like 5 minutes after, like
right,
7:05 or like 8:05. Yeah.
right. So I feel like you've never missed a places. Knock on wood. Have you never missed a places?
I there was a close call in Back to the Future where I was like it was pretty crazy. So I had just like I had gone to another audition and I was flying in that same
Okay.
time and then my flight
Yeah.
was delayed and I was like, am I gonna make it to the theater or not? But I still made it, but they definitely had to hold the show for me. They were like, 1 second. And
Yeah.
it was that was what like really got my anxiety was knowing the whole show was waiting for me. Like
Right.
everyone was waiting for me. I was like, oh no, but it's
But
okay.
that's in the past and you're killing it now, so that's what
It's in the
matters.
past.
Okay, so tell me,
Yeah.
playing Jennifer Parker is such an iconic role. What did you love most about stepping into that character for the time that you were in Back to the Future?
I think specifically to the musical, like I loved being able to like have that character. She's so sweet and charming, but
Mhm.
then also people would be like, "Wait, that's the same girl." Like it was great to like play Jennifer Parker and also be dancing in the ensemble. Like that's
Yeah.
specifically what I loved about the way it was built
Mhm.
just for the musical, but just her as a character like from the movie, she's just so sweet. Like
Yeah.
it's the simplest role I've ever had like stepped into ever. And it was just nice because like I was able to just like really grow in the character just knowing that like her basis is just being like a sweet uplifting good spirited good hearted like all American girl like a great girlfriend for Marty. Like it was just such a beautifully simple role. I loved
Yeah.
it.
And I do, like you said, it was very cool how like it took me probably like my second time seeing the show to be like, wait, she's there, but she's also there. Oh, like that it was a very cool part of
Yeah.
being Jennifer and also her costumes. And then now I'm like thinking back to like the ensemble track costumes and what was your favorite costume in that show that you wore? I have
Oh
my
my gosh.
favorite.
Okay, wait, what's your favorite?
It's probably like the go-to answer, but I love the DeLorean girl outfit. What is your favorite?
The same. I was gonna say the same. Yeah.
And the hair
It's
was
so good.
so good. But was that hard to dance in?
Yes, at first. Also there's like a part where like my character jumps on top of the hood of the car,
Mm,
and like is up there and like as it's turning and everything. So that was like an adjustment, especially in like high heels.
yeah,
But it's also just like, yeah, it was kind of hard to dance, but the hair is just, even if like I was feeling like so ugly or just so
yeah.
off, whenever I put that wig on, I'm like, I am like the hottest bombshell here. Like
Yes,
it,
yes.
so fierce.
The hair was
Yeah.
everything. Do you miss wearing, because Heather's there's no wigs, right? At least for you, there's no wig.
Yes.
So do you
Yeah.
miss wearing a wig or what do you vibe with more?
I miss wearing a wig so bad, but also when you do wear wigs, like not that they completely damage your hair, but it's a lot to have like bobby pins sticking into your head all
Right.
the time. So of course I don't miss that. But
Yeah.
I do, yes, I do miss, it feels like every single day my hair is going to look fierce because of obviously
Mhm.
like the wig supervisors and like wig
Right.
people just on Broadway are like incredible at what they do.
Yeah.
So you know your hair is always going to look fierce every day, but also like doing it now, doing it myself, I feel pressure. I'm like, is the crowd like, what's going on with her hair? Because it's like, you it's just like
Yeah.
based on like humidity or like weather. Sometimes my hair is looking
Right.
a little dry, sometimes it's looking like, so I'm definitely more of like a team wigs. Like I
Mhm.
wish I had a wig, but it also is nice to just like have my hair out and like
Yeah.
let it, flow free in the show. It's nice.
I think that's a really special part about Heather's. Like I like that everyone can just kind of be themselves with and like they're playing a role, but they also like themselves shine through because you guys like don't really wear wigs and you can kind of do your makeup. I like the simple like there's nothing crazy, I feel like. You can kind of just be yourself with your hair and your makeup, which must be cool to be in a show like that now.
100%. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm like, okay, so what is something about touring that people outside the industry might not really understand? Whether that was like a really hard aspect about touring or like one of your favorite parts. What is like kind of like a tour secret that people like myself who are not in the industry might not know about?
I would say probably how fast like we put up and take down a show. Like it's literally like
Mm.
a circus. Like,
Yeah,
it's just, I think people realize how quickly we have to like a lot of our days off are spent going to the next city. So you don't really get
right,
a day off. Like
right.
you are always traveling to the next city or just getting enough rest to be back up again. But it's crazy, like the turnaround is
Yeah,
insane. Like sometimes if a flight's delayed, we might fly and then have to go straight to the show with all of our luggage. Like,
yeah,
it's just crazy. And I mean, major props to like all of our tech people who are like, you know, putting up a show. But like, I mean, specifically ours with the turntable, it
mhm,
was a stage on top of a stage. So like not only did they have to put up like all the lights and like all of the sets and stuff, but like they also like had to build a stage on top of the actual
yeah.
stage. Like it's just crazy
Crazy.
to
Yeah.
me how fast they will, take up and put down a show. We literally had, I think it was like 16 semi trucks
Wow.
initially with like all of that carried all of our set and like all the stage. So it's just crazy. And
It's
they'll
so
drive those overnight. So anyways.
That's no, that's very impressive, and I really did not process that many trucks in my head. So yeah, that's something new I learned. That's great. I can't believe that. It is very impressive, and it just goes to show it's like nothing is a one-man job. Like there's so many different aspects to Broadway and like off-Broadway, but especially like touring, it's like a whole different ballpark of what goes into helping theater be able to travel like what seems like so efficiently because usually like you do get there on time and shows do happen and everything seems to work out from like the viewer perspective. So that's very cool.
Mhm.
So to transition, did you always know you wanted to like jump right into another project, right? Is that kind of how that happened? Like Back to the Future kind of wrapped up and then Heather's was like right away introduced into your life?
Yeah, well, I had to leave early. I had to like break my contract and leave Back to the Future a few weeks early to do Heather's, which was not expected. But
Mm.
I just remember Cisco, and it was maybe February or March, like late February, March. So I guess kind of around this time. And they were like, "Oh my gosh, like they're doing a Heather's revival," and all I knew was just like every person who has ever done theater, like anyone of like they had over 6,000 people audition, like everyone
Wow.
was auditioning, like all of my
Yeah.
friends. So I was just like, you know what, it's a rite of passage. I'm just gonna like send a tape. And so I auditioned for Heather Duke. Did I do anything else? No, it's just Heather Duke. And then they asked me to come in and dance, and we did the choreo for Never Shut Up Again, which then I started to get kind of, I didn't get attached. That's the weird thing. All of like the shows I've booked so far, actually, which I feel like is very healthy, just to be like,
Yes.
because there are times where you like fall in love with the process. But
Right.
specifically when I did the dancing for Never Shut Up, I was like, I'm obsessed. Like I want to do this choreo
I
every
love
single
that
day of my
number.
life. Like I want to be cast in this show.
Yes.
Yeah, it's so fun.
Yeah.
But then they brought me back in to sing Veronica and then also sing Chandler. And so I was like, okay, like that's a once in a lifetime. And also like when it came out in 2014, I was just obsessed with it. Like I was in middle school.
Right.
So it was
Yeah.
kind of like fulfilling a childhood dream of mine, just even being able to like audition and get to like the final rounds and stuff.
Yeah.
So I went back to tour, and then maybe a few weeks later they were like, I usually you'll find out after final callback like pretty soon, maybe like a week or 2 weeks, but it
Okay.
was past 2 weeks. So I was like, okay, obviously I didn't get it. But then
Yeah.
my agents reached out to me and they were like, you got it. And they were like, but like you're gonna start like sooner than we thought, like you're
Mm.
not gonna finish Back to the Future. And I was like, okay. So that made me kind of sad. But
Yeah.
yeah, it was not intentional at all. Like I
Yeah.
wasn't specifically wanting to jump into something immediately, but it's also, it was so meant to be, and it was so great. Like I was so happy to go straight to another show.
Yeah. And yeah, that's a crazy switch. Was it hard going from traveling so much to being stationary, or have you learned to kind of like being in one place? Like what have you acclimated to being in one place, or do you miss touring?
I do miss touring, but yeah, it was a pretty hard transition, which I thought, of course, like now I'm going to be in one city. Like I'm not going to be going from LA to Denver to like
Mhm.
Pittsburgh. Like I'll have just like one like climate, and like my,
Yeah.
vocally, I was like, I won't have to like stress out anymore. But actually being here, like I got sick like a couple times during Heather's and I was shocked, but it was harder like on my
Yeah.
voice and just my body. Yeah, staying in one place, it was hard to, go from just being an, I do love New York, and I've like come to really like feel my vibe, and like it's nice to be in a like routine where like I know what I'm doing every single day. It's
Right.
nice to be in one place.
Right. That's awesome. I'm a big New York City fan also. That's where I want to end up one day. So I'm living vicariously through you and your time in Heather's. So that's awesome.
Yes.
So let's make a switch to Heather's. What excites you? You kind of already talked about it, but like what has been the most exciting part about being in Heather's off Broadway? At least so far, because you've been extended what, like three times, twice or something like that?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
we have.
that's crazy. So what has been like the most exciting part to this day about it?
I would say just the fact that I was obsessed with it. Like when I found it on YouTube in 2014, I just like fell in love with the show. Like it was definitely like my hyperfixation show. Like
Yeah.
I liked it and I listened to it more than anything else. Like I remember I got an iTunes gift card for like my maybe my 13th birthday, and I used the
Mhm.
whole, like it was only a $15 gift card, but I used the whole gift card on the Heather's album, and then I just would
Wow.
listen to it on my iPod every single day. And
Yeah.
so I think it was just the fact that I get to do it every single night. I never get tired of the music. Like
Yeah.
it's incredible. It's just great to like, it feels like I'm fulfilling a childhood dream, specifically with the show being Heather's. So I think
Right.
that's my favorite part.
That's so special. I think it's so interesting that you never get tired of the music, and like I feel like also you can never really get tired of, at least when I went twice, the audience reactions were different both times for different parts. The second time I went was very recently, and there was this woman who her laugh was like a full on cackle. And during Fight for Me, like when y'all are paused on the stage, like some of you had your hands up like this, because I think everybody was just like it was so, she was so loud and her cackle was so funny. That was one of my favorite parts of the show that day. Do you never
Wait,
like,
I feel like I remember that. I
oh my
feel like
God.
I know the show you're talking about. Like it was right as we froze, like right at the beginning of the freeze, right?
And she consistently, like during just parts of the show, was like her cackle was so loud, and all of you, like I could just see some of you just like smiling behind your hands. It was, I don't know how you guys don't break during parts like I like people are laughing hysterically. Your show is so funny and just so entertaining. But yeah, that was definitely one of my favorite parts. Okay, so let's talk about you again because this is about you. What is your approach to covering multiple roles that are, I'm assuming, very different than each other? How do you handle being, so are you a swing or you're just what is your
I'm an understudy because
understudy?
I'm on stage every day in the ensemble, and then yeah, I
Right.
just understudy the other roles. So
Right,
yeah.
okay. Okay, so what is your approach to knowing all of these tracks and being able to be an understudy off Broadway?
Professionally. So
Mhm.
I and just pretty much ever. So I didn't have like a lot of experience with it, and I was kind of nervous because I mean, understanding not one, not two, but three roles is
Right.
just like something I didn't expect. But of course, it's so exciting. But I actually have this app called Good Notes. I someone else recommended it to me. I forget who, but someone in theater who's like a swing. So I was like, I
Mhm.
trust you.
Yeah.
Um, but basically, I have three copies of the Heather script, and I just like have like three documents, and it's literally I write on it as if it like was just my regular script. So it's nice to have like three different scripts that I can reference that have everything for Veronica, Chandler, and Duke. But also I think with them all being such specific, like just very specific and very different characters, that
Mhm.
makes it easier in my head because like even just going in for Veronica, I don't get too confused just because they're all so different, even though they
Yeah.
are standing close to each other or they have like similar traffic or
Right.
similar harmonies or whatever. They're all such different characters. So I feel like that's honestly what helps me, differentiate in them and like remember them is just like that they all are so different. And once you hop into a role, I feel like you can kind of cruise. It's not that bad. Once you fully learn a role, like it's locked in there. So
Yeah.
understudying isn't as crazy as it seems, I feel like, once you get the hang of it.
Yeah, it seems very overwhelming and it's so impressive. So I give y'all props for being able to do what you do. It's very cool. And it's so exciting. Like I love being at the theater when an understudy is on or when a swing is I think it's so special and I think it's so fun. I saw on social media another one of your cast members made their debut as Heather Mack, I think the other night.
Yes.
So
Oh my
that
gosh,
it's
yes.
so cool to see and it's so special and like I'm like sitting on my phone crying watching these like y'all cry and support each other. It's so cool. So props to you and everyone that is able to do what you do because it's so impressive. But looking back, let's like sum it up. So looking back from touring and off Broadway, how has that just your experience so far in theater shaped you as a person today?
I feel like it's helped me just adapt, specifically touring, just to adapt quickly and like be open to change. I feel
Mhm.
like it was so meant to be that I graduated and started on Back to the Future because it just really helped me as an artist to be open to like switch at the drop of a hat and
Yeah.
like just be so open to just do whatever and change and like quickly like especially going into understudying like I've gone on mid show as Duke.
Right.
Like I've like just done the role and then they'll like call me over and be like, you're on for this other role right now. And like I
You're
feel
like,
like
oh,
because of touring happening right before it, I'm like, okay, good. That's great. I'm fine. It's definitely like helped me just be more chill and just more
yeah.
open to whatever as a person. Like it's been awesome. So I
That
feel
seems,
like
yeah.
that's
That
what were you
seems
gonna say?
healthy too. I feel like as a performer to have that attitude and I don't know, I feel like that's like a good way to go about your day being in the tracks that you are and just having your role. So,
Yeah, absolutely.
yeah, that's awesome. All right, well, Kiara, are you ready to make a switch to the rapid fire questions? Because unfortunately we're running
Let's
out of time
go.
and I don't want the conversation to be over, but all right.
I know, me too.
Here we go. One thing, they're not very rapid fire. I've noticed that these take longer than like the actual interview.
Oh, really? Okay, okay.
Um, one thing you would always have to travel with on tour.
My nebulizer, 100%.
Okay, I feel like that is like if you could recommend like one thing for people to have in their dressing rooms, would that be definitely on the list?
Yes,
Yeah, okay.
yeah.
Done. Okay, biggest on stage adrenaline moment in Back to the Future and Heathers.
I would say probably on our opening night of Back to the Future, there's right as like Marty strums the guitar, the walls open and then we come running out for only a matter of time. And I feel like hearing the crowd screaming as the walls were opening was the biggest like, oh my God, oh my God. And so it was great. And then on Heather's, very similarly, when like the stairs split and it's like the Heather's like
Yep.
posing there, that I mean, my first Heather Duke debut was literally our fourth show ever, previews. We
Wow.
were still in previews, and I
Yeah.
found out like 20 minutes before the show. So I thought I was going to be in as Republicanette, but literally standing there and hearing the crowd on preview screaming their heads off, I would say that was the most. Somebody got a video of it, but I was like, I didn't even know what
Yeah.
to think. I couldn't smile. I was just like,
Right, you had to
like
lock
I'm
in,
screaming.
which I'm sure was so hard. But
Yes, I
that's
was
still to
stressed
this
at the time,
day.
but now it's funny.
Yeah.
But what were you gonna say?
Still to this day, I feel like the screams every like that's common. I feel like every night you get those screams
Every
for
night we
that.
get the screams.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. Okay, love it. Okay, coffee or tea?
Both. I'm trying to wean myself off of coffee.
Okay.
But I love a good tea right before a show, but also I have to have my coffee in the morning to get me through the day.
Okay. One word to describe the current chapter of your life you are in. One word.
Evolving.
Love, love. Awesome. Okay. And then this one I've been consistent with, and I feel like it's a common question, but do you have a dream role or are you kind of just living in the moment and enjoying what you're doing? Or a little bit
Gosh,
of both?
I'm gonna look at my vision board because I have a few of my dream roles. I'm like, which one? Probably Peggy Mariah Hamilton.
I
Yes.
see it. I see it. I see it. Has that been
Fingers
on your
crossed.
dream? Has that been on your dream board for a while?
Yes, it was on my vision board last year, and then I actually kind of manifested it, and I was in callbacks for it for Broadway. So hopefully again, so it's like
One
it's
day.
already worked. So now I'm like believing in it even more, but everything
Yes.
in perfect timing.
Yes. And speaking it out like we just did, doing these rapid fire questions, once again, speaking it out, the
100%.
putting it into the universe. And I will be there to see you as Peggy when that happens.
Yes, come
Yes.
see me, girl.
All right. Well, Kiara, that is it. We've come to the end. Unfortunately, time flew, but thank
I
you
know, seriously.
so much for talking with me today. I learned so much from you, and I'm such a fan of your journey from Back to the Future to Heather's, and I'm definitely going to be a fan now and beyond, and I hope to be able to see you again in Heather's. If you're watching, go watch Kiara and the incredibly stacked company of Heather's with a lot of new people, old people that have been in it since the beginning. Go check out Heather's at New World Stages off Broadway in New York City. And yeah, I will talk to you next time. Thank you, Kiara.
Yes, of course. Bye, you guys.